name is Gabe Bodner. I'm the president of the 55 plus division at OneTrust Home Loans, and I want to ask you a question. Have you ever considered who your ideal client is or what your avatar might look like? I think that's a really important question we all have to ask ourselves. Now, with that being said, how do you think the ideal reverse mortgage client has evolved over the years? I think that historically speaking, reverse mortgage borrowers were typically the desperate in financial despair, right? I truly believe that the client today has completely evolved, and I want to talk about that. But before we do, I think that every successful business starts with understanding who it best serves. In addition to that, I think that every business typically gets the client that they're looking for. So if you're looking for a specific type of client, you're going to get more clients like that. If you don't know what type of client you're looking for, you may get things all over the board. But I also believe that the entire reverse mortgage industry has evolved dramatically, right? The demographics of who we serve are no longer 62 plus, it's 55 plus. The amount of housing wealth that we have trapped and available to our older homeowners today is significantly greater than what it was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and 20 years ago. The retirement trends are different, and the attitudes toward utilizing home equity is different. So, what does your, again, traditional reverse mortgage client look like? I think, once again, that the historic reverse mortgage client was that borrower that does a reverse mortgage as a loan of last resort. Their motivation is because they don't have any other choice. It's either sell the house or do a reverse mortgage, right? Now, I also believe that created some problems in the industry that is really where the financial assessment came into play to ensure that clients were able to afford to pay their taxes and insurance and housing expenses and maintenance, and that they had the willingness to do so. So with that, what's changed? What's your typical client today? I think with rising home values and the record amount of home equity, I think that with individuals like Dr. Wade Pfau, Barry Sachs, Harold Ivinsky, Jamie Hopkins, these guys have done an amazing job for our industry, helping to promote the use of home equity in retirement and talking about the importance of utilizing home equity as an orchestrated strategy in retirement to help, again, with the longevity of people's portfolios, extending the longevity of people's portfolios, utilizing it as a buffer asset. People are living longer. There's higher cost of living today. All of these factors are contributing to, again, working with clients that are more than just the needs-based borrower. These are the financial planning-based borrowers. I also think that adult children, many of them still remain skeptical, but many of them are now, again, open to the idea of their parents utilizing home equity so that their parents can remain financially independent. And all of that is, once again, creating a different type of borrower today. So who is your ideal client? I will tell you, for me, I think there's two different categories of clients. You have your needs-based client. Again, these are clients who absolutely need to do this, whether they're in financial despair or they're house rich, cash poor, whatever that looks like, it's a needs-based client. And then you have your planning-based client. And inside that planning-based client, there's a lot of different looks and feels of what that client looks like and what their needs are. It could be, again, as a buffer asset. It could be for legacy planning. It could be for gifting. It could be for tax efficiency. There's a lot of different reasons that those planning-based clients might incorporate home equity and utilize a reverse mortgage. You also might want to consider the mindset of where those clients are in their lives and what that looks like in adopting the strategies of incorporating home equity, and where those clients are going to be referred from, whether it's an estate planning attorney because there's a divorce involved, right? Whether it's a excuse me, that's a divorce attorney referral rather, but whether it's an estate planning attorney who's doing estate planning and wants to build a trust and estate plan and incorporate home equity into that overall plan. So within the planning type of client, again, you have lots of different types of clients within that, and then the needs-based client. But who is your typical client and who's the client of the future? When you consider, and when I consider, what clients look like over the next decade or so, who is that client and how are we going to go after that client in order to educate them and help them understand the value of incorporating home equity? These clients might be younger seniors. These clients might be entering retirement at an earlier age, but they might not be. They might just have a lot of equity trapped in their homes. They might be more sophisticated financially and wanting to understand the tax benefits of incorporating home equity and deferring that mortgage interest and mortgage insurance for a later date. And these clients, again, you have to understand where they're coming from, who they're talking to, what circles of influence they're around, and how you get into that. So, all of that being said, how are you thinking about who your typical client is today and who you want your client to be for the future? Because if you're not thinking about it, it's going to happen haphazardly, and you might get what I would call a splattering of clients from all over the place, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it also creates different challenges in regards to your needs to be experienced and educated and sophisticated on a lot of different areas, where if you can get really, really clear and really focused on who your best client is, then you could be better prepared for those conversations. You could be looking in the right places for those clients. But how are you doing that, and what makes you different than the rest of the market? So for you, what's the one thing you believe the industry still misunderstands about the ideal reverse mortgage client today? Think about that. Think about how you do your marketing, and think about how the industry misunderstands what the typical or ideal reverse mortgage client is. I'm actually in the middle of writing an article right now talking about 4 different types of reverse mortgage clients, or clients that could be ideal clients for utilizing a reverse mortgage in retirement. I hope this has helped you think a little bit more and a little bit more strategically about who your ideal client is. If not, take some time to think about it. Take some time to map out who your ideal client is, whether it's age, whether it's single or married, working, not working, with wealth, without wealth. Who are you best to work with? Who do you enjoy working with best today and in the future? Thanks so much, and make it a great day.